Hey everybody, this is Mario with Dragon Ball Z Card Strategy back. We're going to be doing another local match between a couple of guys I know named CJ and Pete. They're going to be rolling. We got Blue Resolute Goku versus Red Ascension Cooler. We all remember, of course, that good old Cooler had an excellent history in the old Red and Rage style. With Red and Rage style being out of the game for a little bit, we were wondering, would Red Ascension be a good fit for him going forward? I'd say Pete's done a pretty good job in making this particular build work. Believe it or not, he's actually not the only one in our play group who wants to use the Frieza family with Red Ascension. Okay, Pete does initiate combat. He forces CJ to draw, but of course CJ is on level 1, so he gets Goku's effect of drawing in an extra card. Pete opens up with Cooler's Supernova, which raises his his anger 2 levels automatically. Remember, that's 6 life cards of unpreventable life card damage, instantly crits good old CJ's Goku. CJ's got quite a few responses he can go ahead and throw back with here. He should probably be more careful about guarding his stages. So I'd probably shoot off an energy and then probably later ditch the neck beam for the mastery. Unless he's going to do Blue Fear first. Because remember, the mastery lets you pitch a card, discard a card, and be able to get extra benefits from discarding it. Okay, he throws one of the newer blue-style energy attacks. As you know, if this one is allowed to do damage and you use endurance, it will allow CJ to be able to draw a card. We want to double-check his discard pile. He's going to go use the card's effect to go ahead and place this non-style card to the top of his life deck. Okay, it's an 8 life card energy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Okay, there is no crit. Remember, of course, the action did have endurance involved, so CJ was able to draw a card if he wished. Remember also that it did cause some cards in Pete's discard pile to be banished. He does fire off in Rage Blast, gaining enough anger to be able to transform. Avoiding that crit really made that possible. Okay, it's CJ's action again. He took the 4 life cards of damage. Okay, he's going to fire off Blue Neck Beam, which is now a viable attack. You remember how we said that that particular card will go ahead and D-level? That's to lower Cooler's level at the end of combat. Remember how we said that card was actually kind of useless a few moments ago since he was on level 1? But since he shot up to level 2 so fast, it's a deadly hit. Okay, Pete has a response. He's going to go ahead and use Cooler's physical attack to rejuvenate 2 cards and attack for 5 life cards, which unfortunately does hit CJ because he does not possess the correct block and does not utilize the mastery as yet. I think he understood how much damage was coming his way, so he wanted to minimize all the hit he was going to take. Okay, it looked like Pete took damage from something and raised his anger from Cooler's ability. I apologize, I did not catch what it was. He does discard Blue Fear for the effect to draw a card and prevent 4 stages of 4 life cards of damage from any attacks for the remainder of combat. He does have Red Right Cross, costs 4 stages to pull, raises his anger 2 levels. It's an AT plus 4 physical. 7 stages translated to life cards, since unfortunately CJ is still stage locked. Okay, he encountered only mild effects of endurance and did get critical damage and unfortunately did lose one of his angers. Ooh, he held out for long enough. He did use Blue Head Knock, which lowered Pete's anger to 0 when he was well on his way to be able to shoot past this level in the next combat. He does use the endurance on the cards, and Cooler's effect does not generate. So in the end, good old CJ will have actually used both the neck beam and the head knock to their greatest effect. Okay, he uses a physical attack. This is the one that does... We'll do 4 life cards of damage, and we'll allow CJ to be able to draw a card since it does hit and is not stopped.
so I didn't raise my anger. But
Okay, he took the damage and did not use any endurance, and he does get to raise anger through Cooler's effect. Okay, the combat ends. It's CJ's turn. I'm going to double check. Has Pete lowered his character? No, he actually, I apologize, they're actually still in the same combat. He is using Blue Lunge, and he's attacking with one of the cards that he drew a few moments ago. It's a fairly sizable physical. He did not find any targets for Blue Lunge when he revealed the top 5 cards. Okay, combat is officially over. Combat ends. Red Ascension, of course, allows Cooler to be able to gain 1 anger at the end of any combat. And then he does revert to level 1, 5 stages above 0. Okay, CJ has an excellent hand. And he draws, he actually drew 2 setups. Well, I'm sorry, a setup and a defensive stance drill. And he utilizes Blue Dominance to go ahead and get to level 2. He uses Goku's effect, of course, to be able to draw an additional card. This isn't a bad plan. It's because he knows that the card that's in Pete's hand is probably not usable in combat because he held on to it the whole combat. So he uses that ability. He only targets 1 drill to bring back with Blue Dominance's effect, since there's only 1 drill in the discard pile. Hey, these are all, by the way, all the actions that CJ has taken are all when entering combat effects. So he hasn't actually consumed an action. Oh yeah, he already drew his level 1. Couldn't put that back, CJ.
hold on, what are you doing? Right? What did you do?
It was a long night.
Cards, and then you drew me into combat.
I did, I guess.
What do you mean, you guys?
I guess that's what I did.
CJ.
You drew 1.
How was this true?
Yeah. Because I didn't draw you in.
I know how it is to have your mind on other things.
Okay.
So watch
You
it.
did?
Watch it.
So what I'd go ahead and do is open up with grabbing the bottom card of the discard pile as my actual opening move. This will help to even things out. And it's a drill. It's a doggone drill. Oh no. CJ may have made a grave error.
Draw, so then discard, take crit.
Good. All right, he made the best of it. He used level 2 Goku's power, draws the bottom card of his discard pile, immediately throws away said card since it's kind of useless, and uses critical damage effect to lower Pete's anger. Very effective. He made the best of all that doo-doo.
I tell you what I do for the soul.
I'll use Cooler's power and make
CJ actually has more options than he's letting on. I'm looking at the cards in his hands. Not bad at all.
to make draw.
Okay, he uses Cooler's level 1 ability. Pete uses it. It's where he gets to pitch a card in order to rejuvenate a card and draw a card. So each of them is making a pretty good effort with what they have. Oh, don't do it. He's going to pitch Blue Overcharge for the effect of the Mastery. He's got -4/-4 to damage, and he did get to draw an additional card. Unfortunately, that card was a drill. So Pete has an action. I'm looking at his hand. It looks like he might have mostly blocks. Oh, he's got one in there. Is that red tandem attack?
Physical, use careful damage effect. Create your anger.
Oh, that's a more, I should say, one of the newer set. I apologize. I still have yet to buy my own box of the set and get totally familiarized with the newer cards. It's physical. It uses a critical damage effect, and he used it to target good old CJ's anger. Okay, its damage is entirely sucked up by the effect of the Mastery. Oh my goodness. So, CJ uses Leg Catch, and this one's going to, of course, be super neat because it allows him to reveal the top 3, then his opponent gets to put any one of the 3 cards in his hand, the other 2 go to the bottom in any order. Or return to the top? They should go to the bottom, don't they? Huh. Maybe I'm wrong about the effect on Leg Catch. He does have, of course, the positioning drill in play, so he's going to go ahead and be able to place any style card from his discard pile to the top of his deck anytime he actually stops his attack as opposed to preventing it. So that is a little bit of a conflict with the Mastery, but not unmanageable.
That's
Okay, he uses his mastery, raises anger to 4, causes.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my goodness.
Destroy all ally setups and drills.
Woo!
0.
This particular card is fantastic. It's like a card from Magic the Gathering, allows you to blow up simply everything in play. All ally setups and drills just go away. It causes him to reach 5 anger, and he's going to go ahead and level. He's going to go ahead and fire off the level 3, or level 2 physical, excuse me.
So what did I do?
Okay, combat ends. They both pass. That's the end of that little story. He draws a couple of setups. Relaxation drill and visiting the past. All excellent when entering combat effects. Though he should remember that he has to be careful about rejuvenating any cooler supernovas if they should be in his discard pile. I don't believe I saw any because I think the only one he had got banished from the game. It's just that if he were to do that, he would have to target his own setups in play. But hopefully he doesn't end up in that predicament. Okay, CJ's got some excellent stuff going here. He's got, looks like a Goku's Kaioken. Then check out the bottom of the discard pile to make sure he knows when he can draw with Goku's power if need be. I believe it's it looks like a blue rejection. He is going to go into combat. He's got Goku's Kaioken, and I believe I saw 2 different energy attacks.
Don't you have one of those?
Yeah.
No.
Or, yeah.
Okay, Pete's going to go ahead and double check and look into his own when entering combat effects, both the visit the past. So he does use the red.
Damage. Gain 2. Draw the bottom.
Okay, he draws the bottom. Looks like it's an energy block.
Still misplayed 2.
Okay, he looks like he is going to burn his visiting the past after all.
So now everybody gets to see.
Looks like he's going to be. If I was him, I'd probably grab a blue shoulder grab. Supernova, fantastic. You see, this was actually a better strategy. Remember we talked about him accidentally blowing up his own setups? He grabbed it with visiting the past instead of wasting it and blowing himself up. I like the strategy. I like it a lot. Okay, he uses Goku's level 2 ability to draw the bottom card of his discard pile as his opening move in combat. Next action is Pete's. Looks like Pete has a good selection. He's got a good array of different cards to make these happen. He's got Cooler's Physical, he's got Cooler's Supernova, all the tools. In fact, he should be able to cinch this to get 4 anger from 2 different cards and then use the Mastery to get past it, provided he doesn't get any anger lowering. He opens up with the Supernova, which would be the wise thing to do. 2 anger, of course, comes from that one, and it hits him for 6 life cards and with no endurance. That's what makes Cooler Supernova deadly. You never let it hit you. If you're fighting one of these guys, fighting Cooler, you always keep an energy block just for that. Okay, it's CJ's move. Okay, he lowers his anger, which is good. It'll throw Pete Little off his game. Blue rejection, a very powerful energy attack. And then makes your next energy attack costs 0 stages. So even if he gets his Goku stage locked, he's not in any real danger.
Next time one of my effects vanishes from the top to draw.
Oh my word. So this block is awesome. Like we said, it stops energy attacks. The next time he uses the Mastery or anything else that banishes the top of his life deck, gets to draw a card. Fantastic. Card advantage is invaluable. Okay, we've got good old shoulder grab, a staple of the older game, being used. It raises Pete's anger. It's a physical attack. You remember, now even if it does no damage at all, every single thing that Pete throws is now considered to deal critical damage. So he can basically pump up his own stages as long as he can keep attacking. Okay, CJ takes the hit, which is unfortunate because he is going to need his stages. No. If he has an energy attack, he should be able to throw anything he wants from his hand right now at no stage cost. Pete thinks he's made a mistake. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Okay, he's checking out his discard pile. He does have, like we said, a couple of different options. He's gonna throw out this energy attack. Like we said, allows him to choose a card from his discard pile and place it on the top of his life deck. Excuse me. He places the identical energy attack to the top of his life deck. Ooh, excuse me.
How much?
6, 7.
8 life cards. That's a fairly significant hit. Remember how we said if he uses the endurance?
7, 8 is crit.
Okay, he took a pretty significant amount of damage in that particular hit, and he is allowed now to banish any 3 cards from his discard pile. Said discard pile removal is a pretty significant thing. That discard pile recursion for some decks is mandatory, some decks less so. I know that blue and black are among the ones that seem to think very little when they do lose their cards. Most of the other styles are not going to be fans. They do recur them at some point. You guys probably, the audience, are aware, whenever you have a floating effect for a card that has to be in your discard pile, because remember, you can't change that effect. Okay, Pete throws his Cooler's level 2 physical, which is 5 life card physical, and it does a pretty good amount of damage, even with the endurance that CJ had. We're talking about leaving your card hanging opposite direction, that's hanging out of your discard pile, to show that you still have that floating effect active for the remainder of combat. It's just a little thing to do that goes a long way.
This card is 4, 8, draw.
Okay, it looks like CJ's going to go ahead and activate his mastery. He pitched an energy attack, one of the big ones from the new set. Okay. Looks like Pete threw red chop, which was pretty decent stage damage for where it was. And now he's going to go ahead and hurl Blue Terror. CJ responds. Blue Terror, with all the bonuses in play, is going to go ahead and do a decent amount of damage. And he's going to go ahead and grab time, which is a good idea. But, yeah, I would have probably only picked one block if I was him. The only reason I say that is since Pete only has 2 cards in his hands, one may be a block, and the other's probably an attack. He probably would only need to defend one more attack. Okay, stop by time, of course. Okay, he is activating Kaioken, destroying the top 3 cards of his life deck to go ahead and advance to level 3. Now the hard part here is, there we go, he can grab the top or bottom of his life deck, but his top is also Kaioken. I don't know if he's going to be silly enough to go ahead and, the last thing is you discard the drills. It actually would be the opposite. You'd go ahead and do all the Kaioken, advance to the level, do everything, and then discard your drills. Remember, if you're advancing levels, the last thing you do is discard your drills. Okay, he go ahead and throws a Mule Kick, hits 5 anger, go ahead and levels up. Remember, of course, Cooler level 3 lets you go ahead and grab a card from any zone, from your banished zone, and to be able to rejuvenate it. So it's pretty fantastic. Okay, he uses Goku's physical attack. It should do 4 or 5 life cards, is what it should do. Oh, wait.
4, 5, 6.
6 life cards, I forgot the mastery.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There we go, he took the damage with amongst 2 cards. Cooler's Rebirth, rejuvenates. He fires off Cooler's level 3 energy, allows him to rejuvenate. Okay, looks like old CJ did grab Kaioken from using Goku's effect, so he went ahead and activated it. And you remember, of course, the energy attack had no effect since time is still in play. Okay, as level 4 Goku, as you know, he does get the damage buff, the minus to damage, the 2 life card up, 2 life card down for damage, and on Goku level 4, and he does get the ability to grab a card from absolutely anywhere. So if Goku should have a card that's extraordinarily powerful and you want him to use it many times over, he uses Goku's power to go and grab Blue Neck Beam. Of course, Pete's hand is empty. He fires Neck Beam, which has to hit. It hits him. 7 life cards, which is shocking. He's going to go ahead and use a little bit of the endurance. At least I believe so. There we go. So he takes critical damage, unfortunately, off the blue neck beam. End of combat, he will be lowered a level. That would actually be 2 times. So technically, Pete would have already won by reaching MPPV minus the 2 neck beams. But that's what it's like to fight Goku. He can simply recur any card on you that he wants. Okay, what's going on there? Okay, combat ends, goes over to Pete's turn. Pete grabs 1 card, leaves it, rejuvenates 1, and then of course it's instantly CJ's turn. This is what happens when you've played the same people for a lot of years. You find yourself not skipping steps, but you already know what you're going to do. You slightly run over the other person's actions. Okay, CJ passes as well. The hand wasn't to his liking. Can't say as I blame him. Okay, Pete begins his turn. Let's see what he has in that hand. Okay, he's got an energy block to raise his anger.
Do you have to pop this card when it?
No, because it's a power.
Why do you don't have to?
Go ahead.
Angelo.
Remember, just like those other mastery powers.
Does blue dominance have to get popped or no? Yeah, that's true.
No, blue dominance is a you may use when entering combat.
Blue dominance does that have to get
No, if it's a power, you don't have to trigger it. Same thing with Visage. You don't have to trigger Visage if you take a bunch of damage either way.
It's worth checking. You never want to make decisions based on not knowing a card very well. That is a mistake you will easily regret. Okay, he throws off the level 2 physical. It's 5 life cards. He rejuvenates 2 cards. You remember, of course, in red style, it's difficult to have a long game. Oh, no wonder I can't see one of the cards in his hand. It's a proxy. I don't recall what it is exactly. Okay, it's 5 life cards. If CJ lets it hit him. Okay, his blue crouch, which he has to discard since he's not weaker than Cooler. Okay, he pitches blue lifting drill for the mastery. He's able to draw a card and get the -4/-4, but blue lifting drill, when discarded, goes into play as opposed to the discard pile. There we go. Yes, Pete did initiate combat. Oh! Red Energy Blast. This card automatically banishes an ally or drill in play. Fantastic. 4 life cards, pretty decent hit.
Oh, that hit, huh?
Ooh, nice. Oh, whoops. I forgot the mastery is in place. The buffer is in place, so it would actually do 0. Okay, CJ's action. That'll happen sometimes. You sometimes forget you have a floating effect in play. One of these days I'm going to introduce you to my novel idea how to fix that. Okay, he's going to go ahead and throw, I believe it's blue sidekick. This is the one, like we said, that if it hits, when he throws it, he gets to draw a card, but if Pete were to stop it, he would get to draw a card as well.
And then you get to draw a card.
If he should have a block, I would actually make use of it.
What's your anger? I mean, how many cards are you on?
Anchor's at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5.
Okay, doing a quick deck count to know where everybody's at. Looks like Pete's a little ahead on this one. Weighing his options, how to go ahead and take care of this one. The thing is, if he lets it hit him, you get the idea. As to weigh whether or not it would be wise to do so.
Oh, and your cats are -2.
Well, you don't have energy
Pete's trying to prioritize, know exactly what to do, whether or not to take this hit, that kind of thing. I did this myself not too long ago in a match where I took an agonizingly long amount of time to make a fairly simple decision. Sometimes lateness they are. Okay, he does use good old red stop. That's the Omni block for red.
Putting the pressure on your dog.
Okay, it's one of the newer physical attacks. It's going to automatically use a critical damage effect. He gains, Kua gains some stages. Oh, I think I see another neck beam in CJ's hand. Okay, he stops it with this one. With leg catch, he gets to choose which card he's going to go ahead and keep. So remember, of course, that card says if you're level 3 or above, you get to choose what cards you get to keep. So it gives you instant hand advantage, provided you're leveled up enough. Okay, he has some fairly decent cards on him. They're not extremely valuable for, I would say, helpful at this point. He has Neck Beam, which is probably the most important thing in his hand.
4, 5, 6, 7.
A 7 life card.
5, 6, 7.
Energy attack. It doesn't do very much damage, but like we said, having hit, he will lose an entire level at the end of combat. The game is unfortunately far too past to be able to recover on Pete's side to run for MPPV. So this one is down to who can do the most damage. I think that's Red Stomach Dive? No, it's something similar to that. It's one of the newer physicals that's going to use a critical damage effect upon hitting.
Yeah, because I used the energy.
I got it down the depths.
Okay, he did it in the right order. He, of course, got the stage gain off it that allowed him to be able to raise his anger for using those two attacks in tandem. It's fantastic.
I may discard a card from my hand if I do draw.
Okay, he discards Blue Fear, uses a critical damage effect, and draws a card from the Mastery. Fantastic. He hits level... No, Pete, don't forget. No, you did hit level 3. At the end of combat, he advanced a level and then lost a level, but he still reached level 3. He still needed to pull any card from his Banish Zone and put it back in his life deck. No, Pete. I know because you didn't, see level 3 and it didn't occur to you. It happens. Just don't lose this by 1 life card, that's all I'll say. Of course, CJ initiates combat since it was his turn who was next. He go ahead and pitch his Blue Lifting Drill for the Mastery to go ahead and draw a card, but also place Lifting Drill into play. Okay, that was his opening move. His Mastery has been used for this combat. Okay, he's going to throw a red tandem attack. It does very little damage, unfortunately, due to the Mastery's prevention. All it did was raise his anger 1, which is a noble cause. Okay, he uses Goku's level 4 power to go ahead and grab any card from any zone. He grabs a block from his discard pile. It's the one that allows him to be able to get more. You have an energy attack, Pete. This could cinch you the whole game. He doesn't have any means to do anything about it.
There's been some intense battles.
Okay, he's going to use this newer red card. It's pretty significant. He uses blue leg catch or blue leverage. What do you do leverage? That's going to go ahead and let him pick out a card. He grabs an energy attack. Throws a 7 life card energy at him here at the end.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dang. Oh, fantastic. So basically the combat's already over. Unfortunately, he drew his last card out himself. CJ Dunn did himself. Amazing battle. Really straightforward, like you said, a battle from 2 guys who fought an awful lot. Winner is Cooler.